Alpecin go all out for Philipsen's green jersey, and a nervous finale ends in disaster for Primoz Roglic. This was stage 12 of the Tour de France from Aurillac to Villeneuve. So lot 204 Ks, pretty long stage of rolling hills, but it should be a sprint as long as a big breakaway didn't go. Again, a nervous day for the GC contenders with lots of road furniture in the last 25 Ks. Probably it's just a stage they want to get through. And the break formation was really interesting, and the green jersey battle is really affecting how these stages are now playing out in the second week. So the two French teams, Groupama, FDJ, and Total jump. That's normal, but Intermarché start jumping. Why are Intermarché jumping? They've got Binny who can win the stage. Well, actually, they want the break to win because Binny's got a lead in the green jersey competition, and if the break, a big one, wins, it just takes away all the points and takes away an opportunity from Philipsen to make up those points on Binny. So they're trying to make break formation really difficult, joining in the jumping. They're also going to be a team that doesn't control or help control the stage, and same with Lotto Destiny. And so Alpecin really had their hands full. It actually looked like, or not looked like, it did split. And it looked like we were going to have the classic rouleur breakaway. Even Christophe the Door is joining in from Visma Lease bike. Intermarché are all there trying to make it happen. But eventually, four guys go, and it's still kicking off behind EF, Movistar, and a crash stops the peloton. A crash that indeed involved the race leader, Tadej Pogačar. Didn't seem that he went down. Jonas Rickart went down. Pogačar had a mechanical. He dropped his chain. So nothing to be too concerned about. 180 Ks to go in a sprint stage, gets on the new bike. Although there was, I don't know, maybe the commissaires were having a go at him for drafting, which is pretty normal to draft to come back after a crash in this sort of phase of the race. And so the break formed by default, really. The crash stopped the peloton, and we got the four guys out there, but the gap starts to go out. 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Van Aert and De Lee, their teams aren't going to help chase, so Sylvain Dillier has to put in some shift on the front, chasing down this breakaway. Rickart's off the back, Søren Kragh Andersen is going to help chase for Jasper Philipsen on the hills, but yeah, really tough day for Alpecin in these sort of rolling hills with a breakaway. A strong one too, with Turgis and Madouas. Can go a lot faster normally than the peloton, but Movistar start helping. So Alpecin do get some reprieve through these rolling hills. Rocamadour, where Van Aert won the TT in 2022, and the gap comes down almost too quickly. Van Aert actually getting running repairs during the stage after his crash yesterday. The break is brought back at 42 Ks to go, the last 55 minutes. And then it's just the GC teams being nervous. We've got Visma on the left as they look at it, then Movistar, Bahrain, Jayco, Israel, Quickstep with just Moscon for Remco, and UAE take the right side of the road. But where's Bora Hansgrohe and Primoz Roglic? They're deeper, about mid-pack, P10 or row 10, and on the right-hand side with Roglic, although they've got the rouleurs there. And you got, Moscon's doing this on his own, keeping Remco on the front. And then these road dividers start. Roglic enters on that sort of right side. Lutsenko is here. He thinks the road divider is basically stopped, tries to move over to the right, crashes or begins to crash into the right side. See Kwiatkowski on the radio saying crash. He's telling Plusky get over to his side, and we're thinking who is down. And you see here, Lutsenko, he thought the road divider had ended because it was signaled back there, and then there's another one here. There was a small gap between, and he started to move, couldn't see that it started, and by the time he comes out of the wheel, sees it, he's trying to course correct here to stop crashing. It's too late. He's off balance. He tries to stop it, bang, goes into the right-hand side, and takes out Primoz Roglic, who you can see is the first Bora rider here. He can't see the crash is starting, or he's like one of the only riders that crashes on the right-hand side. Lutsenko's going down, so everyone else is braking. The UNO-X guys can see it. They're already braking, and from here, Roglic takes another pedal stroke, and he's the first Bora guy, and he basically overlaps wheels with the UNO-X rider in front of him, who is trying to avoid crashing, goes down at 60 Ks an hour probably, and we knew it was him because the whole Bora team waited around him, and it didn't look like they were coming back in a hurry. He's adjusting his helmet, so really not good to see. He was so good yesterday. Primoz Roglic up there with Vingegaard on Puy-Marie and Pertus, but it looked like his ambitions for the podium, let alone the win, ended there. UAE Emirates actually were in front. They beat Visma and Vingegaard at their own game with Pogačar in the wheel of Benoit under the 4 kilometre to go banner, and then it was time for the sprinters. So There's no one waits in the Tour de France. It's a sprint stage. They're going absolutely full gas. Abrahamsen on the front for his sprinter, Alexander Kristoff. They've got a long straight coming up. Timing would be important. Van Aert jumps up the right-hand side, trying to come underneath in this corner, gets in front of the Alpecin de Koenig train, who waited way too long, and Van der Poel was caught up in the crash too. There's no Van der Poel for Philipsen. And Binny, he's not even in the picture here. We've got Maclay surfing in a really good position in front of Arnaud Demar. Philipsen tries to move up himself. But see here, Binny taps Ternison and says, it's time, you got to go. 560 meters left in P10, P12. Normally, it's impossible to win a sprint from this deeper position. You're too far back with too little to go. And Mike Ternison's the MVP of today for Biniam Girmay. The way he positions him here, you think he might be dropping off here. Look here. Now I think Stewart or the Israel lead out pulls off, and Ternison has to then go the long way around. If Binny's doing this in the wind himself, moving up, no chance he can sprint. Zero chance. So Ternison, unbelievable effort today. Van Aert's in the wheel of Ackermann. He's about to jump up the inside. We know that Demar's about to launch from Dan Maclay's wheel. It's about 250 meters to go, 200 to go. Van Aert's already started launching, and Demar goes towards the barriers. Philipsen's coming from Narnia. He didn't have that Mike Ternison to drag him up, who, by the way, still has Binny in the wheel. And when Van Aert gets close to barriers, he has to restart his sprint. But that'll cost you if you're starting to restart at 65 kph. Binny comes from deep and dusts everybody for his third Tour de France stage win. He's having Intermarché couldn't have imagined this in their wildest of dreams. Maybe one, maybe two, but the green jersey almost locked up at this point. Ternison, a heroic effort doing the lead-ups. Cavendish also relegated for his sprint as well. He's going to sprint around Dan Maclay and nearly chop Brian Coquard. But yeah, you see, there isn't much space to the right, but there is enough space for two riders. And when Demar launches, Van Aert was nearly side-by-side with him, and he closed into the barriers. He gets relegated, and the overhead stops because there is the trees cover it. But yeah, Binny, Intermarché, green jersey. It's so different to when Sagan just walked that competition. It looks like with Philipsen, Alpecin had two riders, DNF, OTL rather, today, Anderson and Ricard. Van der Poel nearly crashed. Philipsen wasn't as competitive in the sprint. Binny wins the stage ahead of Van Aert. Ackermann third, then Philipsen, De Lee, Christoph, Bauhaus, and Coquard. In terms of Primoz Roglic, unfortunately, he never made it back and lost big time, nearly 2 minutes, and he'll move down to 6th on GC with Almeida and Rodriguez moving up. He's on 4:42, so he's 3.5 minutes off the podium. So those dreams ended today, even if he does recover, and then the question is, how will he feel when he wakes up tomorrow after such a heavy crash? So hope you enjoyed the video. Bit of a sad end to the stage, and I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao.